This engine's coming out.
That was the easiest engine removal I've ever done.
The pistons, I'm not seeing any markings that indicate that they were over. This is that bad one. So yeah, here's the before. I'm just going to do a section. That definitely looks better. Much improved. Well, I got my Rust-Oleum Rusty Former in. Jason from Stage Zero Garage. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know if this is going to be part of an existing video or its own. I haven't done anything in a while, and this thing's been sitting for a couple months, I think, a month and a half, so I could get the engine swapped on Reese's Grand Marquis. So what we're doing now is this engine's coming out. If you recall, this is a 318 that got a little bit chewed up. I'm guessing there was probably water in there and it rusted and kind of chewed that up. I'll check it. It might be savable. I mean, if it's just that one cylinder and it hasn't been bored over, it might be a good one. First thing I have to do is take this off because I've already hit my head on it once. I took the radiator in to be checked, and the core would have had to have been replaced. So this is actually the one from the D150, the one on the left, the maroon one. I figure I'm just gonna keep taking stuff off of that truck. The more I take off that's old, the more new stuff I can put on. So I'm okay with that. I think that for the most part, I might be able to just, maybe I can take the bracket off. I'll compare it with the other one another day. Today, or in this video, it's pulling the engine, and then I'm going to, clean up in here really good, paint the frame and coat it and everything. So that's the plan for this segment, and I've got everything all set up here. So there's a recap. Here's the engine that I'm putting on. This was the truck oil pan. I've got another oil pan for 360 auto, so I'm going to pull the oil pump sump out of that one, because I'm sure it's shorter than the one for the truck. This one came off, it was a truck engine truck motor I got actually for that one. That was also, there's a 360 in there that was actually machined, and that was for the truck. So most of this orange stuff, except for the block, was actually on that one. So I have since again pulled things off and put it on this one, including the intake, water pump, valve covers. So these heads, story on these heads was, these are 318 heads, and I didn't even look at it when I got them. I was told they were 360, didn't look, had them redone, and spent money on them. So since it's for the Fury, and yeah, it might be 4-barrel for 318 heads, but I hear that helps with the low end torque, and it tops out at 4,500 RPM. But is that thing going to be going over 4,500 RPM? I ain't racing it. It's just going to be a driver. Let's get to it. First is this. So I can come out of this without a concussion. Always put my screws back. missing there? Did I? Right. I can't even remember if I took these out or if someone else did. I had to have taken those out. There's no way. All right. Got her jacked up, sitting on those, but these are for backup. And then, yeah, I've got reverse thread on the driver's side. Big ass drum brakes. So this will be interesting. I'll have to look into those a little bit later. Some really crusty, a lot of really, oh my God, I bet you that's years and years of old dried up grease. We'll get this all cleaned up. Kind of wish I had a sandblaster, but I think if I just lightly sand it with a brush and then go over it with Pour 15, that should be good. Undercoating, put some fresh undercoating over it, and we should be good. But yeah, it looks nice under here. Look at those fenders. Fronts are nice. These are solid. I love this car so far. I'm trying to get beyond the green, but I haven't quite decided what I want to do with it yet. We'll wait until I get her jacked up in the back the way it's supposed to be and running. Okay, so for under here, taking out the bolts for the transmission. I got that one out. There's the bracket, and then there's going to be one that's up here behind the oil filter. I think that's it. So I'm going to actually drain the oil and pull it. And it's been throwing oil for a lot of years. I guess it was kind of protective, so I guess that's okay. So yesterday was getting everything all unbolted, and so all I have left now is the bolts on this. So I just got to take each of those bolts out, and I should be able to pull the engine then.
That was the easiest engine removal I've ever done.
Yeah. You have to kind of come around and go, oh, Jason, I'm coming over by you.
Your kid's like that too. I'll try to like walk loudly so I don't scare him. And he goes, ah!
Yeah,
Every time.
yeah.
I thought you would have seen me because you're
Nope,
facing
nope,
this
I'm-
way when I started coming over.
I'm focused. Cindy gets in trouble for that all the time because you know how well she learns.
Oh yeah, she's quiet too.
Yeah.
She'll just like speed right up.
And she'll come up, she'll go, hi,
Yeah.
like that. Okay. I have an engine stand. I don't think I'm going to put it on it. I bought a new one. But all I really want to do is get I'm going to take all the pieces off. But I'm pretty sure I can do everything from here. But let's look at what we have. This was inside. This is decades fucking grind. Here we got on the inside. Yeah, this side's really nice because that's where oil was apparently leaking from day one. Power steering fluid maybe. This side's not too bad. So I will be brushing that down. I'm going to get the power sprayer. Oh, look at all that crap in there. So I'm going to clean everything up really good. And then coat it. And oh, I should go get some more 415. They're probably not open. Oh wait, no, tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's Thursday. I don't know what's going on. So it's a 318. I don't know, 2538080. I don't know. I don't know what those numbers are. It'll be easier to read later. Oh yeah, it will be easier to read later. Anyway, all these motor mounts. Oh. Get those transferred over to that engine. So one of the delays I'm going to have is I had to order a new flex plate because that's a 904 transmission and that's for the 318, which is weighted, balanced differently than the 360, which is externally balanced. So so I have to get a special flex plate, so that won't be here probably for a couple weeks. So I got plenty of time, I think. Maybe. I got the engine apart. I did buy a stand to use to take it apart because I have one there being used and one there being used, but I ended up just taking it apart on the hoist, which worked just as well. I checked the pistons. I'm not seeing any markings that indicate that they were over. This is that bad one. Like I said, initially to me it looked like something was bouncing around in there, but Rooster said that, from Rooster's Restorations, said that it looked like maybe it was sitting for a while and there was water in there and it rusted, and that could explain the cylinder walls as well. But these are original pistons, so I'm hoping that means that maybe this can be saved. Checking these bearings. Let me see what this one says. It says 300 500G 669. Is that the date it was made? So these are original. None of them look, these are the piston bearings, none of them look like really worn in any way other than the fact that the coating looks like it might be going because it's down to the copper. Main bearings seem okay. That one had something in it. Grab the crank. Let's check the crank. This one too. Oops. Piston walls. They're a little shiny. I actually see tiny bit of cross hatching, but not much. This is the one that had the issues. Yeah, it's only right there. They're pretty deep, but I don't know. Maybe this can be taken down. I don't feel any sort of. I mean, yeah, I guess I feel a ridge on these. So I don't know. That's probably too deep to repair, but anyway. Spray time. Gonna spray out the engine compartment and and these parts and the wheel wells. So let's start with this side first. I am next going to get under this and clean it better. I got some off with the sprayer, but there's still dirt under here, and I'm going to coat it with some Rust-Oleum rust reformer stuff. I don't think I will undercoat it. I'm just not going to add any more chances for it to get rust underneath it. I'll probably try to loosen any of the stuff that's already loose. So yeah, here's the before of the undercarriage. Got the floors dirty, frame rusty, and wheel wells interesting artwork, and rusty and dirty, mostly rusty. I'm going to do each section and record, maybe for a while, the before and after, and I hope you can see that. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to be laying under here. Got a nice thick brush, heavy duty brush, a little skinny one, that, and I think I have a wire one in here. But really what I want to just do is get, so yeah, I'm going to get nasty. I'm going to get really wet. I'm going to get full of soap. So I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up, so I'm not laying in more and more crap. I'm just going to do a section so you can see how well my idea is going to work. So obviously I won't be able to tell for a little bit, so I'm gonna probably, even if it's not like fully clean, it'll be clean enough for me to give a coat of paint. So I'm gonna try to paint everything under here, and then yeah, I got some holes here, and then hopefully it'll just look a whole lot better. That cracks me up. So that's my plan. I'm just going to be under here doing this. Okay, let's get a view of this one before. Okay. This side's wet. Let's see how it's. Oh, okay, that's definitely cleaner. I still see my little lines. I'm just gonna paint over that probably anyway. Definitely saw a lot of grime come down and dirt. This is still wet, so it's kind of hard to tell. Kind of be cool if it was dry and I could compare sides, but alas, I cannot. Well, here, if this actually is what it looks like when it's done, and that is what it looks like before, then you can see the difference. So, all right, other side, and this side's still wet. I don't think it really was all that dirty, but I did get all the way down in there, and careful and people don't run over my feet. Alright. Let's do a pre-assessment of what it looks like under here. It's not too bad. It's all like surface rust. So I'll just go over it with the rust reformer. So it's a lot better before because the sun's kind of hitting the side a little bit more. Alright. I've used flex tape on stuff like this many times, and it's held up for quite a while. I have some vehicles that it's been flex taped for quite some time. So if I like clean this up, for example, like this hole, if I clean it up on both sides, put a patch of flex tape on both sides, it's going to stick really good in the middle, and it stays pretty good. As long as it's coated, it's not going to have a problem. You know, it's September 13th today, which you would normally say, man, that's fall, isn't it cold? No, it's like 80 degrees lately. 70s, upper 70s, 80 degrees. I took off half days every day this week so I could get a little bit of time outside to do some things on cars. Just get out. Went to the beach yesterday. The water was cold. I thought it was fine. You might think this isn't doing anything, but the water is coming off of this stuff, off the frame here, is actually quite brown. And again, you're probably thinking, is this really necessary? Maybe not, but it's going to be really clean. And then I can paint it, and I won't be needing paint on dirt. I mean, how often do you have a car that's this friggin' clean? From 1970. I'm not here, at least in Wisconsin. Now time for the engine compartment. Just a little bit dirty, so we're going to go in and we're going to scrub everything. Get that stuff kind of ready to prep for a coat of my rust reformer. I'll lightly sand this with the wire brush. I'm not going to go nuts. Try to get the linkages a little bit cleaner. This is actually already pretty clean. Get all the crap out of there, and clean up the hood really good. My beer's over there. Damn it. Oh well. And a stage 1 of cleaning the engine bay, so everything's all scrubbed. Sprayed it down with brake clean so I could avoid any flash rust. So I'm going to go back over it again now that it's a little bit drier and get any of that standing water off. Tomorrow my paint comes in, so I will do all my coating. And then now that everything's dry under here, definitely looks better. Much improved. Sort of okay in there. This is the only area I'll probably actually do make sure that the undercoating is in, because it'll help for sound as well. But yeah, I'll make sure this is all undercoated. Gonna take a break from the Fury springs and hand busting action for a while. I got my Rust-Oleum Rust Reformer in. I have 6 cans, and I'm gonna go to town on the engine compartment and undercarriage on this thing. Why this stuff? So there's been actually a couple of the reviews on the YouTube for Rust Reformer stuff. Port 15 always usually comes up number 1. I'm sorry, POR 15, yeah. And the Eastwood comes in second usually. Both of those are pretty expensive, but this stuff is like, all of this was the same as like 1 can of POR 15 or one quart or whatever that is, in a spray bottle or in a spray can too. So it holds up pretty good. I do like the I think it's flat black. I don't know if you have to recoat, or I don't know if you have to paint over it, because I do want to just have a flat black anyway. So I'm going to be doing the frame stuff and this, and yeah, I'm going to get in there and do that too. So I also have coming a few bottles of the Lanolin fluid film. That's the spray wax, so I can get into some of these areas here after I coat it, and inside the doors and other cavities. It's called the cavity wax for that reason. For inside the frame, I have used the Eastwood internal frame coating. It's really just Rust Reformer with a hose, and I have plenty of hoses, so as far as nozzles with the hose, so if I can make sure the can has the same type of nozzle, I can just reuse my hoses. So anyway, that's like I said, I'm switching gears. I got that one out. I have to cut that out, and yeah, don't pay attention to that. I just want to see how those types of rims looked, and if I could use these for winter. These are newer tires. The other ones are like three number date code, so they're pretty old. So if I need to, maybe I'll be using these tires. think I'm going to get underneath first, because the stuff I really don't have to do anything with. I don't have to do any masking. I guess probably get a little brush and brush away some dirt. And plus, if I get this done and then, ow, God damn these sharp edges. I'll check it every year. I go under my cars all the time and check to make sure that all my coatings and everything are holding. Car is going to beat the crap out of me. Yes, I know that's into the... I'm actually going to get some, I'm going to paint match this from the automotive store here that does paint matching. They do nice cans of spray paint, and that way when I patch this area here, sort of can go back over it and new plan. I'm going to do the wheel wells, and then I'm going to do the engine compartment, and then the rest I can get like later, but this stuff I'm going to get while I can. I use the rest of that can on that control arm.
Everything seems pretty well coated on this end. Ow. Yeah, I should do that right away. Just gonna get that brush and get her cleaned up. Mike. Yeah, still doing everything. Do one thing. That's great. Right. A couple cents. Here, probably. Come on. These fins up here didn't quite get coverage. There we go. Now that you've seen how I'm going to do it, and then I'll show you the aftermath, and then we'll get into the engine compartment. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself, and I gotta climb in here. Oof. Yeah, I just did. Got in there and redid the fender, so this flat black actually matches really good. I think that looks really nice. And I did a little bit in here, nothing really that you can tell. I'm probably going to do the whole back of this black just to keep it protected, since I've already got some surface rust. So I've got 1 1/4 cans left, so we'll see how far I get today. It should be enough to get all of this. So I ain't climbing back out of here to get any tape. Stuff I don't care if it's It's not going to hurt if it's coated.
Today for the underside, like the floor pans and everything, I'm not going to do the whole thing with the Rust-Oleum. It looks mostly clean, so I'm just going to hit the spots that I can see that look like they've got some a little rust through, or not rust through, but where the paint or undercoating is chipped away and started to show a little rust. So I'm going to hit it with that, just kind of spot spray it, and then I will do the flat black on the whole underside, so it's all even. And I'm also going to be doing the the drivetrain, so the axle and the drive shaft, sanding all this scale off this and painting that. If the shock's out, I can get under here. I did spray the other side already. I'm just gonna, oh yeah, cool, and that's what I need. So I'm just trying to get all the dirt off of the undercarriage here. Dirty water coming down, so definitely needed it. All right, well, now that's obviously got to dry, so I'm going to start on that end and work my way to the back, I guess, while this sits and dries. And so I'm soaked again. Well, that's all right. It's a hot day. I have the shocks out, and then I have everything coated and painted and cleaned up. So the painting is done. The underside painting is done. That was a lot of work, especially crawling around under here. And so let's do a once over and see what I all did. So I did recoat this a bit. So this was actually nicely blacked out. You see a lot of times where they spray it kind of haphazardly, and maybe it's at an angle, and so this doesn't get fully painted. But I did go back over it, and I think this is all the rust reformer, which is a flat black, which, you know, honestly, that looks really good. That matches pretty good with what was there. And then I have that all painted in there and all down here. And I got a couple spots I think I'll hit yet with the can. And then, yeah, all the way down there. It's a little spotty, but that's fine. Again, we got the front wheel wells are looking pretty good. I might do some undercoating here. I haven't decided. I don't know. Yeah, probably will. Maybe won't. And under here. So this is all either rust reformed, or I just went over and I picked up some flat black. So anywhere there was rust, I put the rust reformer. And then I hit the drive shaft. I sanded that down a little bit. This big piece of sandpaper. And then, oh, looks like I got a spot up there. Yeah, once this all dries, I'll have to do some touch up. Oof. And got, if you remember that up there, that was all dirty and brown and gray, and so I've got the axle and drive shafts. Again, that's all either I went over it with the rust reformer, then a coat of flat black.
Same with these. So I think it looks pretty good. You know, it's just nice that it's so clean under here, and you know, there was really no rust. It's amazing. I am shocked and very appreciative of how nice this is down under here, because you know it's critical. I'd really like to be able to drive this throughout the winter. Yeah, there's a spot, and as long as I keep it all coated and protected and check it, it should be all right. And I do have fluid film coming. I didn't do any of that today. I had 1 can of this cavity wax, which I don't know if you know, it's kind of a, so yeah, you can spray this and it'll work its way into the nooks and crannies and crevasses, and I'm glad that's done. I really can't wait to get into the interior and working on this. I'd like to find some seats. Buckets would be nice, and then replacement seats for the back, or get them recovered. So standing back, I think she looks pretty good. Oh yeah, needs an engine. That's got to go in next. So, all right, that's enough for now, and you'll probably see more on the engine will be next. That'll be exciting. So, stay tuned. Goodbye.